Welcome back, everyone. So today I want to talk about something that I actually have been meaning to discuss for a very long time now. And I see that a few people have been talking about this. So now that there is some familiarity with the topic circulating, and I know that some of you have looked into this and have been wanting me to cover the topic, I figure now is a good time to tell you guys what I know about this. And that is that the Nephilim looked like clowns. I know my friend Tony of the Confessionals had a discussion about this, and there is another great channel, Understanding Conspiracy, where there is a more of a deep dive into the subject. Both great channels, and I recommend you go check them out, especially if you want to get a lot more information on this. Now, when I say that the Nephilim looked like clowns, and when you think about the clown archetype throughout history, you can probably already think of all the characteristics and personality traits and say, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, especially if you have a good understanding of the history of clowns. For example, think about this. Do you know what Coulrophobia is? Coulrophobia is the fear of clowns. The word Coulrophobia is rooted in Greek. Phobia meaning fear, of course, and Coulro is said to come from the word Coulrophobia, which means one who walks on stilts. And a person who walks on stilts looks like a giant. Well, that's it. I can end the video now, right? I mean, what else do you need to know? No, I'm going to get into this because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you realize the truth, your life is going to change because there is clown imagery everywhere. Plus, we are in the month of October where we are going to be exposed to a lot of clowns, with and without makeup. You know, folks, we are living in the age of revelation. And what I mean by that is we are living in a time when many things are going to be revealed. And some of the things that were taught to you and you grew up thinking was true, you're going to find out that some of those things were not true, or at least not the whole truth. So I advise everyone to prepare spiritually for this revelation, because certain documents and ancient texts will be revealed, and certain relics or artifacts will also be revealed. Trust me, I'm not clowning around. So folks, you're going to want to go to the channel Understanding Conspiracy, where they go into much greater depth with this topic. If this is your first time hearing about this, I'm just going to touch on a few things here. The main reason is because this is linked or connected to so many different things in the modern world. It's almost like being shown the Matrix for what it truly is. We truly have been living in a dream world, a very demonic dream world. And like I said before, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And almost everywhere you go, you will probably more often than not run into imagery and representation that originate from Nephilim clowns. Is this connected to the occult? Yes. Is this connected to secret societies such as the Freemasons? Yes. Is this connected to the circus and carnival? Yes. Is this connected to the Olympics? Yes. Folks, clowns are connected to the circus, and we've all seen what goes on in a circus. Clowns are also connected to a carnival, and we've all seen what goes on at a carnival. Folks, listen to this very carefully. What is the difference between the Olympic Games and a circus? Where do you think the gymnastics, long jump, and vaulting competitions come from? Leaping over or onto obstacles was a popular medieval sport. They used to use horses. They used to use poles, ribbons, and rings surrounded by fireworks. Clowns used to do this. They still do. The same things you would see at a circus, you'll see at the Olympics. By the way, clowns have appeared in the opening and closing ceremonies of some Olympic Games. The Special Olympics, the Paralympics opens with acrobats, clowns, and fireworks, folks. Actually, there is such a thing as the Clown Olympics. Look at the last Olympics opening act everyone was offended by. That mock-up of the Last Supper, right? What was that other than a clown show? What do drag queens dress up as? Why do you think they always want to involve kids in all of these performances I just mentioned? Everything I just said should send chills up your spine. What do a lot of people like to dress up as during Halloween? A lot of people like to wear clown makeup, right? Among other things. But who do people tend to say Halloween is for? Kids. What about Santa Claus and Krampus? What do both of those figures tend to look like? What about Krampus? What is Krampus an eater of? Kids. Folks, none of it is coincidence. Think about Pennywise from the movie It, a clown demon that ate children. You think Stephen King just made that monster up? Some of the most well-known villains in storytelling and real life are clowns. Pennywise, the Joker, that clown from the Terrifier movies, even that Annabelle doll, you know, the real life one, the Raggedy Ann doll, it looks like a clown. Why do you think the demon likes that doll so much? I'll give you guys something else. What are clowns? Clowns, especially in folklore or at carnivals, are performers. They are known figures. Everybody around the world knows what a clown is. And they are often memorable or feared, depending on the context. They are the heroes of old, the men of renown. Want me to keep going? Okay, I'll give you something else. Big clothing, big gloves, big shoes, big red hair. Now, what other figures in mythology and folklore have big red, wild hair? The red-haired giants, right? Folks, if you look closely at the ancient Native American descriptions of red-haired giants, they were very tall, white or pale-skinned with red hair, and they were cannibalistic. Oh yeah, and by the way, I was just talking about the Olympics, right? The symbol of the Olympics is that multicolored 5 interlaced rings over a white background. Well, the Freemasons have a 3-ring symbol, as in a 3-ring circus. And the Freemasons also have a multicolored, interlaced, 5-pointed star. And when you go look up what those 5 rings of the Olympics mean, and you go look up what those 5 points on the Freemason star mean, you will find the overlapping similarity and symbolism. You guys want more? Okay, I'll give you something else. And this is really going to blow your mind because of how deep this goes. Cultures around the world had trickster figures. They were sacred or semi-sacred performers who could speak uncomfortable truths through humor. In ancient Egypt, they had dwarf jesters that entertained pharaohs and sometimes mocked officials. It was humor as social commentary. Look at all the Egyptian gods. A bunch of clowns wearing masks. They look like clowns in an old-fashioned kind of way. Look at this. This is the Egyptian god Bes, the god of mockery and protection. In native and African traditions, trickster gods such as Coyote, Anansi, and Eshu use laughter and mischief to expose arrogance and restore balance. The Africans had griots, which were West African storytellers. Look at their hats. The Arabic storytellers were the Hakawatis. Look at their hats. Now look at the hats of circus shriners. Remember the shrine circus? It's either that hat with a tassel or a top hat. The perfect hat to fit over a big head or an elongated skull, right? Listen, in Greece and Rome, now this is going to freak you out. The Greek god Komos is the god of revelry, which gave rise to the word Commodia, the origin of the word comedy. Street performers, philosophers, and satirists like Aristophanes openly mocked politicians and gods. These early humorists or clowns weren't just entertainers, they acted as truth tellers, using jokes to challenge power and taboos. In medieval Europe, the king had a clown jester, and the jester was the only one allowed to roast the king. This holy fool archetype runs straight through to today's stand-up comedy. And even today, comedians are really the only ones who can get away with making fun of people without getting in trouble, right? I mean, there have been instances where people didn't like certain jokes or they were offended, but for the most part, comedians stand up and tell the truth through comedy. Folks, I'll give you one more thing. Speaking of clowns with big heads or elongated skulls, these are cave paintings of the Wangina. Now, are these aliens or clowns? You tell me, are they aliens or clowns? Look at this. This is Joseph Grimaldi. This is where the more common modern day clown look comes from. But of course, we know that he didn't create the idea, right? Completely white face, exaggerated red mouth, dark eyes, and a bald cap. All features that echo the alien gray archetype. Zangas par de bros Piro. Chalk white skin, black ringed eyes, smooth and emotionless features. Pennywise was a clown from outer space or another dimension, right? How about that movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Remember, we were having these clown sightings almost in the same manner as Bigfoot and alien sightings, right? Speaking of Bigfoot, or the wild man, what did Humbaba from the Epic of Gilgamesh look like? Folks, we could sit here for days talking about the Nephilim clowns of the Bible, folklore and mythology, all the way up to Ronald McDonald. That same dragon-looking, geeked-out face is all over the world in every culture. Always a part of rituals. Needless to say, folks, we live in a clown world. Anyway, that's going to be all for now. Check out Understanding Conspiracies channel. I'll leave that link in the description box if you want to watch more videos about this. Please click the thumbs up button and like this video. Share this video because Halloween is coming up, and I think people should know about the demonic origins of clowns. Please let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Everyone have a great day, and until next time, friends, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.